Welcome back to the third short video in this series on the key elements required for meaningful and effective spiritual practice and finding true purpose to your life. In this short series, I share with you three key requirements that you must have in place if you want your spiritual life and path of enlightenment to be successful and have a spiritual practice that actually works. Without these three elements, in other words, if just one is missing, then you will find it impossible to attain a peaceful state of mind and find purposeful direction in your life. Without just one of these three elements, your spiritual practice will never result in true inner transformation. And I can attest to that from over 20 years of practical personal experience. If you haven't watched the first two lessons yet, then make sure you do so first. Pause this before you continue, because that way you don't miss out on the great valuable lessons and you get the most out of this one. If you want to succeed and find inner peace, purpose and happiness in your life, then after this lesson I will also tell you a little bit more about how I may be able to support you in this process and what is available to put it all together for you. Okay, so let us move to the third key requirement. Enjoy. Now, after we have focused on the heart space to ensure we actually wish to change our affections towards what is good and true, and we focus our attention on the cognitive part of our mind to understand and learn what is true, the time follows now to put it into practice. Therefore, the third critical component of any effective and transformative spiritual practice is to act on it. Knowledge and feelings are useless, left to be just imaginary in our heads alone, unless we put what we know to be good and true into practice. Change is only effected when we ourselves choose to own and apply it. This is a process involving our own volition, our heart, and so that is why personal freedom is so critical to actual spiritual transformation and enlightenment. However, I will leave the discussion on freedom and the importance for another lesson. It would take way too much time here to get into it. Perhaps bleedingly obvious, but we need to make sure that our hearts and minds operate in harmony with each other. Emanuel Swedenborg, the original spiritual freedom philosopher from the 18th century, calls this process the circle of life. That what we believe to be true is acted on from a love within ourselves for what is true. We need to make sure, when given the chance and opportunity, to enact on our newfound knowledge and so strengthen our affection for truth. This is the final but critical component if we are to grow and change our character. We cannot win the inner battle for peace unless our hearts and minds are in harmony with each other. We are not truly free unless we act out our loves in our lives. It is easy to delude ourselves into thinking that only believing a particular teaching is enough, or that it doesn't matter that I'm doing a kindness for others, even though it's for selfish reasons. It is very easy for us to behave in a way or say things contrary to our thinking and simply justify our discrepancies away, and too many people do. This lesson is the most critical because it deals with our core integrity. This is where the rubber hits the road and when we pass the test or fail. Scripture tells us we should act on the opportunities we have to be good, to be kind, and to choose truth. Swedenborg tells us that if we do not act on what we believe, we ultimately fail to believe it, no matter how much we have convinced ourselves to think we do. If we don't act upon what we think we know and love, we do not actually love it. That's the simple truth. You see, this brings up a key problem and why a great many people fail on their spiritual quest. It takes real and deep introspection, personal analysis with sincerity and persistence to grow. It is self-critical and it's painful and hard work to acknowledge our wrongs and selfish affections, especially since everything in the world seeks to sell us an easy way out, seeks to tell us that we are good enough. Well, we are not. And once you understand the nature of our reality, and our reality. Once you truly understand the real purpose in your life, this illusion of autonomy and self-importance, be it mighty appealing, will ultimately fail to bring lasting happiness and freedom from inner struggle. This is why many people jump to the next fashionable spiritual trend, such as meditation, mindfulness, hot yoga, but find no real difference in their lives. You see, there are two issues to understand with this. One, people mistake engaging in an external activity with being spiritual. And two, they expect the thin veneer of calm an activity brings to be lasting and transformative. So this is why meditation, yoga, mindfulness and the like do not work. They only work when and because people apply and accept the three critical elements I have discussed in this series. True and lasting change only comes when we rebuild our paradigms and put our whole self in. Well, can't wait to apply for what you've learned? Well, that's great. But I have a little more to add to enhance and strengthen your success with applying these lessons. I'll see you then when we'll put it all together. Well, now you can see why our web domain is lovetrutheact.life. Because we're a spiritually focused community where these principles being applied to our lives is core to each and every member. This process is hard work, it's challenging, and that is why we need to support each other. But understanding and tolerant of ultimate insignificant language differences between various faith traditions if we focus on the things that truly matter. I would love to help you, support and mentor you in this process, and that is why I've established a safe and supportive community where you can share your journey with the support of many. Now, please look out for my next message because I will share with you how you can put it all together and apply it to your life. I will also offer some invaluable support for you that I hope you find just as amazing as the content. I'm hoping to add value to you because helping others in their spirituality is my passion. I want to see as many people free themselves from stress and anxiety and develop a profound and deep sense of calm and purpose in their lives. And I'd like to help you find your own using the many years of soul searching and practicing my own personal spirituality. I have a lot to offer to you, and I hope you watch out for my next message. See you then.